You're listening to the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to make sure you get the latest episodes of the podcast. Be sure to like and share our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Now then, we reach the point in the episode where we do our predictions for the Champions Trophy for 2025. Let's do our predictions and predict who will qualify from the group stage to the semi-finals, plus the leading run scorer and leading wicket taker for the tournament, and the team who is going to win the Champions Trophy for 2025. So let's do our predictions. Now, in terms of semi-finals, let's do that. In terms of the semi-finals. Now then, we'll start from Group A in terms of who will qualify from there to the semi-finals. I've gone with India to qualify as one of the teams. Obviously, India, one of the favourites. They look really strong. They will be there in the semi-finals, no doubt, you would think. The other team will be interesting, either New Zealand or Pakistan. Bangladesh, not so much because of their poor showing of late. So it's going to be a battle between New Zealand and Pakistan. But I've gone with New Zealand as the second team in Group A. I think New Zealand have got a squad that's capable of winning this tournament. Pakistan, you never know with them. Either hit or miss. Which Pakistan are we going to get? Are we going to get the good Pakistan or the bad Pakistan? That's the thing with Pakistan. They're not really consistent. But I've gone with India and New Zealand to be my semi-finalists from Group A. Group B, Group B, quite an interesting one. A lot of people have said it's probably the toughest group of the Champions Trophy. You've got Australia, England, South Africa, Afghanistan. I've gone with South Africa. I think they're pretty strong. They're probably the strongest team in Group B. And when you look at it in terms of the other teams, Australia and England, missing players, not really playing well. Afghanistan, if they get it right on the day, they can be dangerous. But I've gone with South Africa as my semi-finalists from Group B. The other semi-finalists, very interesting. Well, a lot of people would say Afghanistan based on how well they've played and how well they've done. But you've also got Australia and England. Yes, they're missing some players. Yes, they're not playing well at the moment. But come a tournament, it's a very different situation. I'm probably going to go with Australia, even though Australia are weakened and they don't have the players. They don't have Cummins, Stark, and Hazelwood. If they make it to the semis, so be it. It's probably either going to be Australia or Afghanistan for that second spot. I don't really see England doing well. So I've gone with probably Australia from Group B. Maybe that's just me saying Australia because I support Australia. But who knows for that second spot? It could be Afghanistan. Who knows? So for Group B, I've gone with South Africa and Australia. Let's see. It's only a prediction. So let's see how that turns out at the end of the tournament. So semi-finalists, India, Pakistan, South Africa and Australia in terms of semi-finalists predictions. The winner of the tournament, I'm going to go with India. They look pretty strong. India, one of the favorites to win. You have a look at their squad. It's pretty strong on paper. Whether or not they can get the job done, what happened in the World Cup 2 years ago will probably still linger in their memories. What happened when they lost to Australia in the final. But, there's some other teams that can compete. New Zealand, South Africa, probably the other favorites as well. But I've gone with India in terms of their strength and what they're capable of doing there. So I've gone with India to probably win the whole tournament. For me, leading run scorer, leading wicket takers. Now, we've got quite a few very good batters and bowlers in this tournament. So we'll start with the leading run scorer. That's an interesting one. Leading run scorer. Ooh, you got so many to choose from. I'm going to go with Heinrich Klaasen from South Africa. He's done pretty well. He's scored a lot of runs in the last two tournaments for South Africa. And if South Africa are a good chance of winning the tournament, they probably need Heinrich Klaasen to do really well. So I'm going to go with Heinrich Klaassen as my leading run scorer, based on what he's done in the past before in the last couple of ICC tournaments. Now, in terms of leading wicket taker, that's an interesting one again. There's quite a few good bowlers in this tournament. Don't know really. That's a difficult one. But for the sake of the prediction, I'll choose one anyway. Who will it be in terms of the leading wicket taker for the tournament? Well, I'm going to go with another South African. I've already gone with Heinrich Klaassen as my leading run scorer. I'm going to go with another South African again for my leading wicket taker. I'm going to go with Kagiso Rabada. He's a very good bowler. He's taken a lot of wickets of late. And obviously, along with him and Klaassen, going to be very important for South Africa's chances in this tournament. So I'm going to go with Kagiso Rabada for the sake of this prediction. So a couple of South Africans there for me for leading run scorer and leading wicket taker for the Champions Trophy. If you're listening to this episode and you're listening to our ICC Champions Trophy 2025 preview on the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast YouTube channel, let us know in the comments your predictions for the teams to qualify for the semi-finals, who will win the Champions Trophy, leading run scorer and leading wicket taker for the tournament. We would love to hear what you have to say. So let us know in the comments your predictions for the ICC Champions Trophy for 2025.